Welcome back to another karting video, and this one's a little different. Today we're at Daytona Tamworth for round 2 of the Elite Karting Series, and trust me, things get a little bit spicy. The grid is full of killers, the karts are quick, and the racing? Absolutely ruthless. We had some struggles early on, tough heats, wrong lines, and a few close calls, but stay tuned because the final, it finally clicked. Now let's see how this went down. So since Daytona Tamworth is around about 3.5 to 4 hours away from us in the northeast, we decided to jump in a car together and travel down, which is always entertaining with the quick finishes. Now if you haven't already, I did introduce everybody in my last video of our first impressions of Daytona Tamworth, so give that a check out, so then at least you know everybody who's going to be in this video. Now I do feel sorry for Simon, as he was the designated driver, which just meant he had to put up with all of our horrible banter in the car, but at least it did keep me awake because it was a very long day on the Saturday. The first impressions of the track when we did arrive were good. It's a lovely sunny day, so it means everybody is that little bit more happy. We did arrive on the Friday night, so we did jump on a couple of sessions, so at least we were prepared for the Saturday. Now this event did smash the record of the EKS's most drivers ever, so it was an extremely busy day, and being honest, there wasn't too much room in the actual clubhouse, but there is plenty of room around the circuit to actually watch all the racing. Now just like the last EKS video, this did have commentary, so I will make sure that I put that over the actual footage, so at least you've got someone else's voice to listen to, which is maybe that little bit more exciting than my own. But unfortunately, you're going to have to put up with it while we go through qualifying. Now, in this, I am going to safely say I was robbed, and you will find out in a moment exactly why. But let's take us through our first couple of laps of getting on the track, with at least we know this is our main competition. I also want to apologise a little, as there is a yellow tinge because I managed to get myself a nice new visor for my helmet. However, it makes everything yellow. So I have turned the temperature down in the actual video to see if that made it any better. Now I will go through a couple of laps with you. Now as I mentioned in my previous video, we do have the lap timer on our actual steering wheel, so we can see exactly how we were doing. Now the entire session we were running around about second, third, and then the majority of it first, so we had a lot of confidence on this one, which practicing the day before definitely helped. There is a little bit of delay for the dashboard to actually catch up, so we can see that we are now in first if you manage to pause the video there, so we are doing pretty good. Now we are managing to get this corner a bit more flat out. It is much more grippier than yesterday, and again check that other video out as my hot lap on that is there. Also we were doing much faster lap times the day before, but with the amount of grip it did change a little bit of our lines up a little. Don't get me wrong, I still wasn't getting the lines perfectly right, but we were managing to get this corner I'm coming up to now much better. I actually turned in a little bit early in this time, but as the day went on I definitely turned in later, making sure that we're getting the better exit. Now this complex, or these last few corners, I did get best throughout the day as well. This was maybe one of my strongest parts, which you will see in the final, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you're doing anything different than me. But now that you've witnessed a full lap of the DMAXs at Daytona, let's skip to the actual drama. So as you can see on the screen, this is my in lap. We are coming into the pits, and if you can see on my actual dash, it says we are second fastest. So that's a really good, that will put us in second place to be starting for the first heat. Now, I get a little bit excited. Barry's behind me, who I am in the championship with as well, asking how he did, thinking he was first. However, he was third and I was second on my dashboard. All good, happy days. I would love to have left it at that. However, there seemed to be some confusion of whatever was happening on the laps, and they pulled us in a lap early. So while I'm sitting in the kart, I am getting a little bit confused on what is happening because they didn't tell us to get up. And after a couple of minutes, they decide to send us back out for one power lap. Now I will leave this lap in, or indeed we'll call it the nightmare lap, because as I'm sure you've guessed already, it didn't go too well. So they do spread us out to make sure that we get one full lap. We are able to warm our tyres up, and then we will get one full lap to qualify. Now skip forward to the start of the lap, where you can't really get the first corner wrong since it is flat out. But as we come to this corner, which is a little bit tricky, don't know what happened, and then I just went a bit too wide. I definitely lost a few tenths there. Now this corner, again, not too bad, making sure we're using a little bit of the runoff curb, make sure that we're keeping nice and tight for this left-hander. I do go a little bit on the curb on the entrance, as my head is completely shot now. This right-hander didn't do too bad, made sure that we kept enough speed going around it, making sure we're getting a nice late turning on here. Much better than the lap I told you beforehand, where we're able to keep the speed up for the flat out right-hand kink. Good right-hand corner here, making sure that we're keeping it nice and tight, getting cooked over to the right as best we can. Left-hand corner wasn't tight enough to the apex there, making sure we're using all the runoff. Pretty much flat out left kink there. We're then going around the final hairpin along the straight, and then we can see exactly how we do on the times. So if we look down on our dashboard, well, actually you can see my head shaking there because it wasn't good whatsoever. Now it was 6th, now 7th, and basically it's just going up. We're now at 8th position, and I know that was absolute stinker. Our lap time was actually a full second off what we did in qualifying the first time, which we should have kept. But I'm not going to hold a grudge. I'm not going to mention it anymore, I'm sure, in this video, maybe once or twice. But you let me know your thoughts on what happened, or indeed if you were also in the race and you benefited from it, well done you. But I'm still going to be a little bit spiteful on this. But as we're going through the rest of the lap on the dashboard, it is saying 10th. I'm pretty sure I stopped looking at that point. We can see that's turned off, which is probably for a good thing, as it did mean that we're starting pretty much at the back of our session for when we have our race one. Now, as mentioned, there is commentators in this one, so I want to thank Josh Wynn and Matthew Bolton for the commentary on the next races, and also Luke and Terry Batsby for the drone shots. So thank you very much, but I will let you enjoy the race and over to karting with Josh.
And as they come round turn 12 here, all eyes are on the lights. Let's see who takes this one home. And it's time to let the race begin here at Daytona Tamworth for your lightweight split one. Jamie holds off first into turn 1, but there's a bit of a scrap going on in 3rd place as we head down into turn 2 and 3. They all manage to keep it clean, single file, but there's an overtake done there into 4th place, and off goes the driver all the way down to last place there. But he's able to join to the back of the pack and close up that gap there. 1st and 2nd, a swap position there. Jamie has dropped behind Luke. Luke's now going to try and defend this off as they head into turn 6 there. 3rd place, Alf Barry's closing down that gap as much as he can, but there's loads of overtakes happening just behind as a driver darts down the inside for 4th place there, and it's a 3 wide into turn 5 there. As we come round into turn 8, we've got the drivers in front. We've got Luke, we've got Jamie, and we've got Barry starting to create a little bit of a gap because the cars behind are scrapping. If they can work together, they can start to build a gap and pull this race away from the rest of the pack. So as we cross the line here, let's do your running order for the first lap. So out in front you have Luke, Jamie, Barry Lakes, Hassan, Callum, Freddie, Carlis, Tom Shipman, Luca, Matthew, and James King down at the back. James King, obviously one of the 2 King's brothers who did incredibly well at the last round of EKS up in Warden Law. As we're heading now into turn 6 here, Luke and Jamie have really pulled away from Barry there. There is a 1.2 gap between Barry and Luke. Let's see if that can close down as he's coming around here. But Barry's going to have to start defending as he's got Hassan, the reigning heavyweight BIKC champion, right behind him. Can he do anything? Let's find out. So we're going round into your final corners here. Luke is managing to hold off Jamie there, but the gap is closing down. The current gap is a 0.434. Let's see if that is any closer now as they cross the line. And it is dropped by a tenth. There are now only 0.3 between Jamie and Luke Dodman there. James King managed to make a move on Matthew Clark there, regaining some of his lost time there as he did go off on the first lap over at turn 3. As we're heading now into turn 4, Dodman is still out in front with Jamie just behind him. Manages to close down, and Jamie sends it for an overtake round turn 5 then. He's side by side going into turn 6, but Dodman manages to go back in front, keeping that position there. He's holding his line, but Jamie is catching. He's in that slipstream. He's got a better outcome of that corner there. And as we're coming around these final few corners, you've now got Barry Lakes closing in on the scene as we're going round turn 8, 9 and 10. It's now all to play for that first position as Barry's closing in on 2nd place, and onto the scene we do have Hassan joining the battle for the podium race. But right behind Hassan we do also have Callum, who has tried to go for an overtake, squeeze through, and it is too wide going into that final corner. I don't think Hassan will be too happy about that, but he manages to make the move, putting Callum now up into 4th place, Hassan down in 5th, Freddie in 6th, Collis in 7th, James King down in 8th, Tom Shipman in 9th, Luca in 10th, and Matthew down in 11th. Your top 3 still stays the same as Luke, Jamie and Barry. You can see that Luke is starting to pull a little bit of a gap there now. There's another 0.3 seconds that he's managed to pull away from his counterpart Jamie there, but between Barry and Jamie it's extremely close with just 0.6 between them. He's right behind him on the case, and let's see if he can close in under braking. Jamie really needs to concentrate here. He does not want Barry to start battling with him, as he will just give the win to Luke. Luke has got nerves of steel. He's a regular here at Daytona Tamworth. He takes part in DMAX, endurance, super champs, everything under the sun. So he knows what to do here. He knows how to pull away from the rest of the group. But let's see this happen. We've got lots of fighting going on down here with James King at the back of the pack here. We're just in front of him. We've got Carlos and Freddie trying to battle their way through. If they can work together, they might be able to get a little bit closer to the driving front, but your top 3 are really spreading out right now, as Jamie has just dropped another 0.2. He's 0.8 off Luke Dodman there, and Barry Lakes is 1.8 seconds off Luke Dodman. He's really pulling away from this race. That toe is completely broken, but a bit further back down, we have a battle going on with the King brother. 3 of them going into turn 6 there. They're really trying to pounce on each other, and as we come around turn 7, King makes a dive down the inside, but he's not going to have the inside for the next corner, and just in front Carlos is going to try and keep that inside line. He just managed to have it. King tries to go for the switchback. He sets up the overtake, and he dives down the inside. James King gets the overtake done as he comes into turn 11 and 12. Is Carlos going to have anything to answer for it? No, he stays stuck behind it, and King manages to get the overtake done. And just behind we've got Hassan in an absolute train right now. We've got Hassan, Luca, Tom Shipman and Matthew Clark at the back of the pack there. 4-way battle going on for 8th place there. But out in front, I do believe Jamie has managed to close in that gap. It was previously 0.8 on Luke Dodman, but it's now down to 0.5. That slipstream, that toe down 1, 2 and 3 is absolutely huge, and now that he's within that 1 second window, he'll really be able to start reining in. So Luke needs to keep his head down, try and break that toe, create that gap, and then he can win that race. But with only 6 minutes left, we're only halfway through this session. Will he be able to do it? I'm not quite sure. It's going to be a battle right to the end, this one, and let's see how it goes. King brothers managed to keep his position there. He's catching up onto Carlos there. He's managed to get the position done on him, actually. And as we come around the corner here, I'll do your running order for lap number 6 here. So it goes Luke, Jamie Shipson, Barry Lakes, Callum, then it goes Carlos, James King, Freddie, Hassan, Luca, Matthew Clark managing to get a position up on Tom Shipman there. He's having a little bit of a struggle out here. He is a Warden Law masterclass, but down here at Tamworth, it's not going so well for him today. But he's on the back of that pack. There's only just about less than a second separated by that back four, so he might be able to make up some positions before the end of the race. We look at the gap between Jamie and Luke. It's gone down by another 10th. Jamie is closing in on Luke. Barry is dropping off the scene though. It looks like this is going to be a 2-horse race for the win. Who will it be? Will it be Luke? Will it be Jamie? Let's find out with only 5 minutes left of this session. As we're coming around the final corners here, Freddie, oh, we've got it off. We've gone off. That is the car 106. Matthew Clark goes off at turn number 11 and 10 there. He's managing to rejoin the pack though, but it does put him down back into 11th place. Tom Shipman picks up the pieces and claims that back position. Out in front, Jamie Shipson closes in a little bit again, but it might not be quite enough. It's still 0.537 out there, and Barry is still about 1.922 of that lead. The top 3 are looking very solidified right now. Let's look further down the field to see what is going on. We've got a 2-car battle going on behind the driver in the yellow helmet over at turn 6. They're very close to each other, just in front of Tom Shipman there. So I believe that's Hassan and Luca really going for it. And Hassan has been defending this whole race after he got that pushed wide out of turn 12. He's stopped that train and he'll manage to get past there. But as we head round here, he's still got Tom Shipman on the case, closing down that gap. Tom Shipman really catching up now. If he can keep his head down, he might be able to gather and pick up some pieces from this dreadful race for him. As we go across the line, your running order is Luke Dodman, Jamie, Barry Lakes, Callum, Carlis, James, Freddie, Hassan, Luca, Tom Shipman and Matthew Clark. I will point out that Jamie's managed to close in another 10 on Luke Dodman. That's another 10 in one lap. He's got 4 more laps to go and there's 4 temps between them. It's a chance he might be able to claim this lead on the final lap, and especially as he gets closer and closer, that slipstream is going to get stronger and stronger. So let's see as we get into these final stages of the race if he can manage to do it. He knows how to win it, but so does Luke. Let's see if he can manage to do it, as Barry has also managed to catch up to the leader. He's now 1.7 gained, another 10 there. He's gaining advantage from the two-way slipstream happening down that main straight. And as we go across the line, let's see what the gap is now between them. It's back to 0.5, but Barry has caught up to Jamie. He's closed another 2 temps on Jamie, so Barry's going to be coming into play here as we're coming into the final stages of this race. But Hassan has someone right on their bumper there. I believe it's Luca, and he's going all the way round turn 3. Is he going to make a move here at turn 4? He sees the gap, he goes for it. Hassan tries to bend it, lets him through. It gives Hassan the inside now for turn number 5. Hassan takes it nice and tightly there, and Luca just sticks to his bumper. Is he going to go for an overtake here? No, he sticks behind him. He's waiting for his opportunity. He's probably going to use that slipstream that he gets down turn 1, 2 and 3 to take advantage of that slipstream. As we look back at the front here, it's starting to look a hell of a lot closer here between Luca and Luke Dodman. It's going to be an interesting finish this race, and then down the inside goes Jamie. He tries to get the overtake done, he just can't manage it. Luke goes back out in front, and now there is less than a 10 between them as they cross the line here, which puts Barry back onto the scene. It's now a 3-way race for the win of the lightweight split final. As we head into turn 4, all 3 of the karts closing on the braking. Will Jamie be able to catch back up to Luke and do what he just did there, but hopefully manage to actually make his way through this time? Barry, though, is right on his case now. There is only 0.6 between the two drivers, when previously it was over a second last time we looked at how close Barry was to Jamie. But Jamie has closed right on Luke Dodman here. It looks like this is going to go right down to the wire. With only 2 minutes left of this race, Luke has gone for a full defensive line to solidify this win. However, it's allowing Jamie and Barry to close in on him and potentially get this race. Jamie is driving right on the edge here, as you can see the car dancing round turn 9 and 10. And as we come into turn 1, 2 and 3, Jamie looks over his shoulders. Barry is just 0.2 off the back of Jamie. It's going to get in a massive slipstream. If they work together, they might potentially get Luke here. If they don't, Luke will be laughing and claim victory this race. Your current order is Luke, Jamie, Barry, Callum, Carlis, James, Freddie, Hassan, Luca, Tom and Matthew Clark. If we look back out in front, the 3-way battle is still going on as we head into turn 6. They're all about evenly split right now, and Luke just needs to keep his head down, as currently right behind him in 4th and 5th, Callum and Carlos are closing in on the scene to the battle for the podium. Can any of them pick up the last few places when there's only 1 minute 55 in this race? And as they come around the final corners, it is the last lap of the race, and look how close the top 3 are. But down in 5th place, we have an overtake from Carlos, trying to make steady, just doesn't manage it, and he has to back out as they come round turn 12 here. These final few points are going to get picked up on the final lap here at Daytona Tamworth. The gap is just 0.4 between Jamie and Luke. The gap between Barry is just 0.6. Who is going to take it? It's going to come right down to the final wire as we head into turn 4. Jamie's close on the braking there. Is he going to be able to get in? Let's find out as we head down into turn 5. He takes a little bit of a tighter line, and Dodman goes a little bit wider, going for the more conventional driving line there, and it looks like this is going to stay the way it is. It doesn't look close enough as we come through these final few corners, but you never know. Luke can make a mistake and Jamie might be able to pass through. But down in 4th, we have Callum absolutely catching on the scene. Can he overtake Barry in these last few seconds? We'll have to wait and see. But as we're coming round these corners here, Jamie eyes it up for just a second, but he's not close enough. But Hassan, right down in 8th place, has got Luca right on his tail. And as they come round the final corners, we have Luke has won your splits, 1 lightweights. Hassan is going up to the line, and it looks like he's just going to be able to claim it. So your final running order for today, it is Luke Dodman taking the win, Jamie, Barry Lakes, Callum, Carlis, James King, Freddie Winksell, Hassan Safar, Luca, Tom Shipman and Matthew Clark.
So that was race 1. Hopefully you enjoyed a little bit different commentating on that one. If you're enjoying this video, please consider giving it a like, and also I would appreciate you giving a subscribe to the channel, as I do try and get a video out at least once a week, if not every fortnight. But thank you very much for all the support received so far, as we are over that 500 subscriber mark. Now this race, our position does actually go on lap times rather than position, but we didn't do too well in that last one. However, I can safely say we do a lot better in this one. So hopefully you enjoy the race, and I'll pass it back over to the commentators.
Coming round onto the main straight, eyes are all on the lights. It's time to let this race begin here at Daytona Tamworth for the split one, second race, and the second place driver makes his way through on turn 1, making his way through turn 2, the side-by-side going to turn 3, but he's got the inside line. Will Callum be able to do anything to claim that position? I don't think he can, as right behind him, there's more overtakes taking place. I believe Jamie has managed to get himself all the way up into 3rd place there, and Ashley King is down in 4th. We got first, I believe, I'm not sure it is until we go across the timeline, but we've definitely got Callum in 2nd place, then Jamie. More overtakes happening halfway down the grids. They go 3 wide into turn number 7 there, coming into 8. They're still side by side battling their way through, just about squeezing through. Just Barry Lakes as they single file out into the final few corners. Side by side, once again they go into these corners. Are they all going to make it out alive? I sure do hope so. And the top 4 drivers are rather close, and same again, it's our usual folk who are now signaling to each other to work together. So let's see what the top 4 are saying. So in 1st place, we do have Carlos, Callum, Jamie, James King, Hassan, Luke Dodman, Barry Lakes, Tom Shipman, Luca, Matthew Clark, Freddie Winslow, and David Gaskin. Oh, is that Jamie that's just made a move on there? He's made it up into 2nd place. He was in 3rd, absolutely sent it down the side of Callum there, who started off in pole in this race. He really needs to start reining these karts in, and hopefully James won't cause him too much issues behind him, so he can try and claim back this 1st position. But it does look like he's struggling. He's dropping off the back of Jamie. The gap is slowly widening as we're coming out of these exits there, but it's still close enough that he still might be able to bring this back. So we're coming into turn 11 and then 12. We've got Jamie in 2nd, and our front runner is still Carlos, and let's see what the gaps are saying. So those top 4 drivers are all separated by 1 second, and there's a penalty for 1-2-1. That's Jamie in the green suit, so 2nd place has a 5-second penalty, which will send him hurtling down the leaderboard, plunging down into, I believe, 11th. It is 11th. Wow, so Jamie is currently on track in 2nd, but that penalty drops him all the way down to 11th place. Jamie's really going to have to use that car's power now to get past Carlos and try and make that gap. He's got 9 minutes to do so. Let's see if he can do anything with it. Barry Lakes is currently sitting down in 7th, I believe, and he's got a little bit of a train forming behind him. He's going to start defending that off, trying his very best. That's Tom Shipman right behind him, who did rather well at Warden Law. He's eyeing up and overtake Shipman onto Lakes. These two are rivals in the championship, currently sitting 1 and 2. Let's see if either of them can make a move and try and make some more gains in the championship. Heading now into turn 4, I do believe that's Jamie trying to make a move on the leader. He makes it stick, he plants the move. Has Carlos got anything to fight back at? I don't believe he does. Jamie does have that 5-second penalty, which drops him down now to 10th position. So he really needs to start extending that gap, using that front row to pull away. But he's got Carlos right on his tail. Obviously, they don't know about this penalty, Carlos. But if Carlos can get in front, Jamie is going to have a right old struggle here. And Ashley King is eyeing up the back of Callum's kart there. They're only separated by 3 tenths. Can he manage to do anything? Well, he's going to have to make a move soon, as right behind James King we do have Luke Dodman, who won the previous race here. Let's see if they can do anything. As we come across the timing screen, obviously we've got Jamie on track in 1st, but not on paper. So it goes Jamie, Carlos, Callum, James King, Luke Dodman, Hassan, Barry Lakes, Tom Shipman, Luca, Freddie, David, and Matthew Clark. David did make a position up in that lap, getting past Matthew Clark for 11th place. James King's managed to close a little bit of a gap onto Callum. It's now down to half a second between them. And I can see Shipman is trying to make a move on Barry Lakes there at turn 6, but it just doesn't manage to make it stick. Barry gets a much better exit, which compromises Shipman there, and he's got right on his backside Luca ready to take advantage. But look back at the front, what is happening here? We have a 5-car battle for this final few places. Oh, and down the inside, I do believe that is Karts. My eyesight helps me. 108, I believe. 108 making a move there on Freddie. Just doesn't manage to make it stick though. Alright, we're looking at our front runners now. The top 5 are separated by around about 1.6 seconds. 4th to 2nd, extremely close, but Jamie is starting to pull away that lead. He needs to make a 5-second gap if it's going to do anything in this race, because currently it's going to drop him all the way down to 9th position. Alright, James King is eyeing up the back of Luke Dodman's car. There's many a battle happening right in front of him. He's just going to have to wait and pick his opportunity. As back further afield, a dive bomb goes down the track. I believe that's David Gaskin, who won one of the splits before, is eyeing up an overtake on Luca. Matthew Clark manages to get an overtake on that lap on Freddie Winskull, and your current running order is still Jamie, Carlos, Callum, Luke Dodman, James King, Hassan Safar, Barry Lakes, Tom Shipman, Luca, David Gaskin, Matthew Clark and Freddie Winskull. Jamie's starting to pull out that gap now. He's on 1.3 with that penalty. He's going to drop him down to 7th position. So he's really putting in those laps, and he needs to. He knows he's got that 5-second penalty, so he's trying his best. And what is really helping him is right behind. There's a right old battle happening with Luke Dodman there, and I believe also Carlis, which is going to really aid Jamie to pull away from that back, break that slipstream, and then he doesn't have to worry about his penalty. James King at the back of this battle here. He sees Hassan in front of him, and the driver of Callum smacking his car. He's not happy with his car at all as he's driving down the main straight heading into turn 3 there. He's having to go defensive to try and defend off Hassan, but he just isn't managed to, and there's a yellow flag. Yellow flags are being waved. I believe the situation has been resolved, but there was no overtaking in that section. That Hassan out in front, Callum, and then James King over in turn 6 there. Luke Dodman is still eyeing up the back of Collis's Karts, struggling to get through. He takes a slightly tighter line, so he's going to have to switch back here. He eyed up the dive one there, but it wasn't worth it. He was nowhere near to send it down the inside there. So we're coming to turn 12. Luke's gone a little bit wider, trying to get the best exit he can. He dodges the curve, trying to maintain that slipstream down the main straight. He just isn't close enough. Let's see as they head towards turn 4 and along the back straight. Is he closing up a bit? Is he using that slipstream? He is. Under braking, can he do anything? No, he's still not close enough there. And then right behind him, James King has got a right old battle to try and get through. Barry Lakes joining the back of the scene there as well now. The gap on that section there, we've got James King in 6th, and then just behind him Barry Lakes with a 0.4 gap between them. Jamie is really pulling away now as Luke Dodman is having to defend for his life with Carlos right behind him. Hopefully this 5-second penalty won't be too much of a worry for him. Let's see as he crosses the timeline, see where that puts him on the grids. Alright, so that 5-second penalty now drops Jamie down to 5th place, and Luke Dodman managed to get past Carlos in that last lap there, but they're extremely close, only 0.4 separating. However, I've just been told Luke Dodman has got a 5-second penalty, so that's 2 drivers off 1st and second place both now have 5-second penalties. That 5-second penalty will probably drop Luke all the way down to about 8th place. It's not a great day for Luke there. Jamie, however, with his 5-second penalty will drop him down into 5th. Barry Lakes is still stuck behind James King, but right in front of James King is a right old battle happening with Hassan and Callum. Hassan tries to send it down the inside, but Callum's defending him, pushing him wide, and he goes off. Dust goes into the air, and through goes James King, and Barry Lakes tries to take the inside, has to tuck him behind Hassan. There's not much you can do there, and Callum manages to keep that lead there. Absolutely impressive work there, trying to squeeze the drivers out, but just managing to leave enough room coming round turn 12. We've got 2 minutes left of this race. Who will win? We still have a 5-second penalty on Jamie, which is dropping him down into 3rd position. So he's managed to keep that podium position. If Jamie can keep putting in laps right now, with all this battling behind him, it might actually net him the win. So obviously Jamie and Luke both have their 5-second penalty, which if Carlos can keep this 3.6 gap to the lead, that does make him the next winner for this race. I don't think he knows this, so he needs to keep his head down, try and stay out of battling. He's very much on his own. He can do this. If he can try and get in Luke's slipstream there, he's absolutely laughing as we cross the grid there. Carlos is 4.3 seconds off the gap to the lead. He's 0.6 seconds off, dropping out to the win of this race. Jamie has really checked out of this race, which is really aiding him. He's only going to drop him down into 3rd position with his penalties. However, Luke does have a penalty, so he'll be 2nd. Alright, the timer shows 0 on the board. So this surely means when they come round here, this is going to be their last lap. I've got 1 minute 40 here on the timer. Let's see what these gaps are saying. So its last laps are shown. And across the line goes Jamie. Across the line goes Luke. And across the line goes Carlos. Carlos is 4.9 seconds off the lead of this race. He can't afford to lose a 10th right now, as he's going to win this race if he can hold himself in that position. Jamie is pushing his hardest. That gap is absolutely massive. A whole 4.9 seconds off off Carlos, who is going to be the next winner. If he manages to hold this gap, he should be able to do it. Down and further on the field, we've got some overtakes that haven't. We've got David, got an overtake on Hassan, an overtake from Tom on Luca, and Barry Lakes also got an overtake on Freddie. All right, here's the important bit. Round the corner comes Jamie. Let's see what these gaps are saying. He puts his hands in the air. He thinks he's done it. Let's find out. Luke crossed the line. And it's 5.5 seconds. Jamie has managed to retain that lead and build that 5-second gap, giving him that win on paper, even with that penalty. Wow, what a drive. Tell you what, all that maths has given me a right old headache. If someone wants to get me a glass of water and bring it to the commentary box, you are more than welcome. Aye, aye, aye. So, let's have a look at this then. So Jamie managed to build that gap, so he's still got that 1st position. Luke does have that 5-second penalty, which I believe will drop him down to about 5th place. So, I think the order, correct me if I'm wrong anyone, goes Jamie, then it goes Carlos, then it goes Callum, then it goes James King, and then it goes Luke Doddsman, then it goes David Gaskin, Hassan, Tom Shipman, Luca, Barry Lakes, Freddie, and Matthew Clark. If anyone wants to let me know if we had any more penalties, you are more than welcome, because my head is hurting trying to remember how many people got a 5-second penalty there. Wow, not even my A-level in further maths could have helped me there.
Now that was race 2, and we're on for the final race. As we can see, the sun is definitely setting, so it is quite late in the day. There was quite a bit of waiting around, but it's what you maybe expect with about 1,000 heats throughout the day. Now we did actually put the fastest lap in that last race, so that does put us on for pole for this one. So hopefully, as mentioned, this one's going to be a little bit more exciting. Now I actually don't get the end of the race footage, so I will rely a little bit on the EKS footage here. So thank you very much for Luke and the EKS for arranging this. But what I'll do is I'll pass this over to the commentators.
Okay, we are ready to go racing. Carlos Almanis down right at the back of the grid. He's going to be looking to move forward. He's been fighting all day. But we are looking at the gantry. And it is lights out, and away we go. And the left right-hand side of the grid had an absolutely blinding start. They go 3 wide down towards turn 2 with Jamie Shipman-Chase immediately into second place, and he'll be hunting down Shipman in first place. As Shipman immediately feels the need to go defensive. He knows the speed of Jamie Shipman-Chase. He knows how aggressive he is, and he's immediately taking that defensive line again into turn 4. And now into turn 5 rather. But now Jamie Shipman-Chase into turn 6 does not need a second invitation. He knows the Shipman was looking to go defensive, so he went as aggressive as possible. And now he's going to look to do exactly the same thing as he did in the last race, which is leave.
leave everyone.
Everyone.
What?
Disappear into an alternate dimension. That is Jamie Shipman-Chase's sole reason for existence right now, as we are going to get their full positions as they cross the timing gantry now. So, your leader is Jamie Shipman-Chase, or do we have timing? No, still 2 wide into turn 1, and they eventually get it sorted out by the time they go through turn 2. The entire rest of the grid looks a little bit more spread out now. Do we have the full live timing? We don't on the television. Hopefully the next time they come around the gantry we will. But Jamie Shipman-Chase still getting hounded by, is that Tom Shipman? Is he on it? Yes, Tom Shipman. But I don't think Shipman's close enough to launch an attack. Maybe he had a slightly better exit out of turn 6. Jamie Shipman-Chase taking a slightly defensive line through turn 7. He's all over the curb. That's going to compromise his exit through the kink of 8. Will Shipman be close enough to launch an attack? He thinks about it. No. Dips to the outside. Now, has to think better of it. Will he sling on down the inside? No. He was certainly sizing one up. He was making that move, swooping to the outside. He is not letting Jamie Shipman-Chase go for Christ. He is saying, stay with me, like that song. What's that song? Stay
Sam Smith.
Sam
I
Smith.
believe.
So Sam Smith in second place, hunting Jamie Shipman-Chase for the win. Is he going to dive down the inside? No, he has to stay behind for now to get that better exit, but looks like Jamie was just a little bit wide of that apex, but the gap has increased, and Tom Shipman is starting to see Jamie Shipman-Chase do what he does best, which is drive very, very quickly indeed. The fight for 3rd, 4th, 5th, for 6th and 7th is very much on, as I think our second place sitter is getting shoved out wide. And I think we need to call heavyweight split 2 to the pit lane. Heavyweight split 2, if you are in that category, please get your helmets, suits, gloves, I don't know, everything else on. And Tom Shipman has let Jamie Shipman-Chase go just a little bit. Staying with me is not Jamie Shipman-Chase's plan right now. He is chasing victory, his second victory, and I do have live timings. How wonderful is that? Okay, so the gap between Jamie Shipman-Chase and Tom Shipman is just under 6/10 as they went over the line. The gap behind Tom Shipman to Hassan Zafar in 3rd is a further 1.5 seconds, but the order is as follows. Jamie Shipman-Chase in 1st from Tom Shipman, Hassan Zafar, Luke Dodman, Luca Nick, David Gaskin, Barry Lakes, Carlos Almanis, Callum Bendelow, James King, Lewis Jolly, Matthew Clark and Freddie Winsgell rounds off the grid. So Tom Shipman still within touching distance of Jamie Shipman-Chase. He needs to get a tidy line through turn 9, and he does. Into turn 10, taking a tighter entry. Now he closes right up to the back of Jamie Shipman-Chase. Nice and calm through turn 11. Those who are fastest are the ones who are calmest through turn 11. If you look like an accountant, then that's all good. They ride themselves off. Kart number 110 has a 5-second penalty. That is Carlos Almanis down in 8th place, setting the fastest lap of the race at 56.482, but he has a 5-second penalty, so as it stands, he will finish very last. Tom Shipman still hunting down Jamie Shimon Chase. It seems to ebb and flow, this gap. Tom Shipman more powerful through the final sector, but Jamie Shimon Chase eking out his advantage through the first bit of the lap. But Tom Shipman is not letting him go. He's not letting him do the same as he did last race, where he simply walked away from everybody. It seems that Luke Dodman is having a little of a sniff at Hassan Zafar. He is also not letting him go. He's the second driver on the track saying, stay with me. Stay, sing with me.
Tell you what, Tom Shipman really needs this. He's had a bit of a torrid day here today, and he's better than that. He knows that. He's nodding his head as he goes across the start-finish straight, but the driver of 112, which I believe that is Barry Lakes, down in 7th place, has got a track limits warning. But yeah, Tom Shipman needs this. He's had a bit of a struggle today. He's much better than that, and he knows that. If he can get this, this is huge.
Why, he certainly was nodding his head. He knows he's just pumped in a good lap, and in fact he pumped in the fastest lap of 56.388 to close the gap between himself and Jamie Shimon Chase to only 3.5 tenths. And will he get close enough to launch a move? And even when he gets close enough, will Jamie Shimon Chase allow him to make that move? When you're spending that much time out in front, the only thing you can do is, when there's someone behind you, check where they are. That's the most interesting thing happening for Jamie Shimon Chase. So he knows where Tom Shipman is, probably better than Tom Shipman does. So by the time he gets close, will he be allowed to launch an attack? He knows the gap is basically nothing, as Jamie Shimon Chase again sets a lap about a tenth faster than his rival behind him. But now Hassan has really started throwing in the laps. He's under pressure from Luke Dodman. They're both setting 56.2s. So Hassan said, all right, well, you're up my back bumper. Well, I'm just going to up the pace. Nothing wrong with that. 56.237, fastest lap. I'm going to go for second.
Just keeping an eye on that gap with Shipman. It's flowing between about 0.3 and a 0.4 on every single lap. But as I'm watching here, I think that's getting closer. I think that's looking more like a 0.2 or a 0.3. We'll have a look when they go across the line.
And we've seen that, I think that Shipman's, and that is, looks like Luke Dodman trying to make a move on Hassan. Has he made that stick? Is that the car 1, 2, 2, 3? No, he has not gone past him. Hassan is still in third position, but there was certainly a robust exchange going through turn 10 as Tom Shipman is getting quite close. But no, Jamie Shimon Chase still covering that inside line. Tom Shipman taking the wider line through turn 4. Now through turn 5, he just follows it very neatly. He's picking his moment, but there are 3 minutes remaining. We have 4 minutes on the television, but the gantry says 3, and the gantry is always right. But Tom Shipman is right up behind Jamie Shimon Chase. The question is, can he get close enough and in the right position to launch that attack? So into the kink of turn 8 through turn 9. It seems that Shipman has a wider exit of turn 9 and entry to turn 10. Now that would allow him to send it, I think.
Nearly did, but we got Barry Lakes that very, very, very nearly made a move on to, I believe, Luca there. As they head down the straight, Barry's now got someone on his back. Who have we got there? I believe that's Carlos, trying his very best to take advantage of Barry's misfortune there.
But even if Carlos was to go past, he does have a 5-second penalty, as there is almost a move from, I believe that's Barry Lakes, trying to look down the inside of Luca Nick, but nothing doing at this time. The gap between Jamie Shimon Chase and Tom Shipman, he's looking all over his shoulder, but he's not going to make the move right now. He covers the inside of turn 7 through the kink of turn 8. Will he be close to make the move? I think he is. He's not going to go down the inside of this occasion. He's not close enough for the move, surely. Not down the inside here, that would be mad. No. So, down the outside, I think that might be, is it Luke Dodman making the move? No, not quite. Tom Shipman is pushing Jamie Shimon Chase through the final corners. 2 minutes remain. He is now right tucked into the slipstream of Jamie Shimon Chase. He has to make this move now, or he's going to risk taking it to the final few laps, where I think Jamie Shimon Chase's guard will be up. At the moment, he can't send it. He goes wider, prioritises the exit for turn 4. Looks out at turn 5. Jamie, little look over the shoulder. He knows he's there. Hugs the inside. Hugs the curb the entire way around. Another look over the shoulder. Check the inside for turn 6. Covers it off. Now Tom Shipman all over his back going into turn 7. Tricky braking zone. Don't go wide. Jamie Shimon Chase navigates it very well. Of course he does. now into the kink of turn 8 and into turn 9. Is he going to be close enough to send it from there? No, I don't think he is. He's not quite getting the exit. Jamie Shim and Chase's exits are supreme. So into the kink of turn 11 now, penultimate corner of the lap. And it looks like Hassan Safar is now setting the pace. So it was Hassan, 56.2. Then Shipman said, you know what, 56.1. Hassan said, raise you, 56 flat. 56.057, that's a tenth faster than anybody else on the track. And him and Luke Dodman are now hunting down the top 2. But I question whether the next lap will be the last lap. Jamie Chase will be driving on the white line. Tom Shipman will be trying everything. Hassan Zafar is going to be getting in on this action. As will, of course he is, Luke Dodman. He's never been too far away from the lead today. Even if he's not in the lead, he's certainly contesting for it. He's one of the locals here. He's the one who should know this track, and he does, like the back of his hand. Tom Shipman all over the back of Jamie Chase. Heading into turn 9. It's a tidy exit. Will he go for it? Oh, I have a feeling that there's a move on there. If this though happens to be the last lap, it is the last lap. So Tom Shipman all over the back of Jamie Chase needs to tuck well into the slipstream to get his best run towards turn 4. As there is action, Carlos Elmadas makes his way past Barry Lakes and Luca Nick, I think, at the end of this lap. He's made 2 positions, but he still has that fastest lap. That 5-second penalty. Luke Dodman now into the 55 lines, and Jamie Chase is defending, as is, I believe, Hassan Zafar is also defending. He's doing everything they can to maintain position. If these two groups get worried about each other, they're not going to be able to focus forward. As Tom Shipman again looks for the move, it's not going to happen. Jamie Chase will be covering turn 7. He'll be covering turn 8, but he's got a gap. Crucially, he has enough of a gap into turn 9. And he needs to hope for a bad exit here, does Tom Shipman. But I think Jamie Chase has done enough. Oh, down the inside, he's hit him! He's hit him! Luke Dodman hits Hassan Zafar, but Jamie Chase comes round the final corner. He fends off Tom Shipman. He wins the lightweight split 1 final. I'll hand over to you.
Bloody hell. And we thought today couldn't get more exciting. One of the King brothers almost sends it then on the last lap as well. Tries to get the overtake done on David as they were fully 3 wide going across line. Nothing less than 0.7 separating them there. We're going to go through the order so you guys know what you've got down there. We've got Jamie, who finished in first. We've then got Tom Shipman, then Hassan, Luke Dodman, Carlos, Barry Lakes, Luca, Callum, David, Jamie King, Lewis Jolly, Matthew Clark, and Freddie.
Now that is it for the second round of the EKS. The next EKS is at Rara, so stay tuned for that footage. But straight after this race, we all drove home ready for the next round of K&E at Warden Law, so stay tuned for that video as well. Thank you very much for watching. Again, if you did like this video, please like and consider subscribing, but I'll see you on the track next time.